Welcome to the deep dive. You know that familiar feeling, right? Spreadsheets just keep getting taller, deadlines somehow get shorter, and you're wading through just, well, a ton of data. But there's this really powerful shift happening, kind of quietly. Artificial intelligence. It's not just some buzzword anymore. It's really becoming like a sharp junior analyst for your data. The one who never gets tired, no drama, just signal. So today, our mission is simple. Cut through all the noise and really unpack what the leading AI tools for data analysis can actually do right now. We're basing this on a practical guide from 2025, so think of it as your shortcut to getting properly informed. We'll dig into some surprising facts, practical takeaways, so you can really start using this stuff today. But okay, before we get into the how, when we say artificial intelligence in data analysis, what does that really mean? Beyond the hype.
Yeah, that's a great place to start. Because it's more than just speed. It's about making data, well, speak to you, turning these complex patterns into pretty simple choices, sometimes before you even knew what question to ask. And it works on three main layers working together. First, you've got machine learning. Think of that as the engine, right? The model's spotting structure, figuring out relationships, making forecasts. Then there's natural language. That's the interface. You just ask questions in plain English. And the system turns that into code, SQL, Python, whatever's needed. And finally, generative models act as the narrator. So after the number crunching, an AI writes up summaries, it annotates charts, sometimes it even shows you the code it used, transparency.
Okay, so engine, interface, narrator, that makes sense.
Exactly. And the practical payoff is huge. We're talking faster cycles, definitely. Finding deeper patterns that honestly, a human might miss, and much wider access to insights too, just because talking to it is easier than staring at formulas. This isn't some future thing. It's quickly becoming a daily habit for folks who are serious about data.
All right, it really does sound like it mirrors a lot of what analysts already do, just faster.
Yeah.
Much faster. But sticking with that idea of mirroring human workflow, where does AI maybe not quite match up yet? Where's that human touch still essential in this whole process? And how does that play into this four-step AI data analysis playbook you mentioned?
That's a really important point. AI is phenomenal at the repetitive stuff, the pattern finding, the heavy calculations, no question. But human intuition, that's still key for asking the right questions in the first place, for interpreting those really nuanced results, understanding the why behind the what. AI is an amplifier, a massive one, but you're still the strategist.
The strategist, I like that.
Which leads us nicely into the playbook. Step one is where AI just excels: ingest and clean.
Yes, the cleaning. Everyone's favorite part, right? So you start with your raw data, could be a messy CSV, Excel file, database, Google Sheet, whatever. And the AI's strength here is, honestly, pretty amazing. You can just ask it, profile these columns, fix the weird casing, standardize the dates, get rid of duplicates, and crucially, show me what changed. I mean, the number of late nights I've personally lost to bad date formats. The idea of an AI just handling it perfectly, it's almost too good to be true. But it's deterministic work, right? Code just does it.
Exactly. It turns hours, sometimes days of that kind of drudgery into minutes. Seriously, which frees you up. So once it's clean, then we get to step two: explore and discover.
Right. This is where it gets fun.
Yeah.
Asking those open-ended questions like, okay, what actually stands out here? Or getting specific. Show me outliers in the uniprice, or what are the strongest correlations? And the good systems, they don't just dump data on you. They give you like compact stats, maybe some studied charts, a short list of interesting leads to follow up on. Helps you cut through the noise fast.
It's about getting those leads, not just raw answers. Makes the whole process way more efficient. Then we shift gears to step three: model and forecast. This is where we go from describing what happened to predicting what might happen.
Okay, now this is where it gets really powerful. Asking things like, forecast sales for next quarter and give me the confidence intervals. Or what's the impact of discounts on margin if we control for region? But, and this is crucial, you said keep your scientist hat on, right? You have to ask about assumptions, check the residuals. The AI is powerful, yeah, but you got to keep it honest.
Absolutely critical. Just accepting the default output is a huge pitfall. You need to understand why the model is saying what it's saying. You're still responsible for the conclusion, which brings us to step four: communicate and decide.
Because insights are useless if they don't lead to action, right? So here you're asking for the right views for your audience. Make a bar chart of sales by region, write a 2-paragraph summary for an exec, simple stuff. And you mentioned packaging the code for transparency. That seems really important for building trust in the results. Decisions travel further when the story's clear and people can see how you got there. Okay, so this whole workflow sounds incredibly powerful, but the big practical question is probably, How do I get my data into these things? Specifically, let's talk about ChatGPT, since that's where a lot of people start.
Right. And it's actually gotten much simpler. There are basically two main ways. First, direct file uploads. Super straightforward. You just use that little paperclip icon, or sometimes it's a plus sign right in the chat window. Attach your spreadsheet, your CSV, whatever. OpenAI's own docs explicitly say you can upload spreadsheets and ask for analysis. It works.
Just upload it like an attachment, okay?
Yep. The second way is through connected apps, or connectors, as they're often called. If you've got a paid plan Pro, Team, Enterprise, Education, you can enable these. They let ChatGPT directly access and analyze files you select from cloud storage, like Google Drive, OneDrive, SharePoint, Dropbox, Box. The official help guides walk you through connecting them. Pretty seamless.
Okay, quick note though, on Google Drive, I saw the self-service connector works with workspace drives, so business accounts, but not personal Google Drive accounts, is that right?
Right.
And it doesn't pull in images or charts embedded in the files.
That's correct, yeah. Good clarification. Workspace drives for the self-serve connector, and it focuses on the data, not embedded visuals. For organizations, there's also an admin-managed setup for Workspace too.
Gotcha.
And just briefly, for bigger companies using ChatGPT Enterprise, there are even more robust ways. Projects, GPT actions designed for reproducible analysis across teams, keeping everything secure and consistent.
So bottom line, getting your data into ChatGPT is pretty easy now. Upload a file or click Add from Apps, authorize Pick Your File. That accessibility is a huge deal, which naturally leads to thinking about the tools themselves. What are the main players making all this possible right now, say, looking at the 2024-2025 landscape?
Good question. We can probably highlight 4 key ones that cover a lot of ground. First, ChatGPT with its advanced data analysis feature. We've talked about it a bit. It's fantastic for that flexible conversational style. Upload files, ask for cleaning, modeling, charts, narratives. The magic is really that it writes and runs Python code for you behind the scenes. You ask in English, it does the complex work. Connectors add cloud files. For speed, just prompt profile columns, fix missing values, standardize dates, find 3 patterns, make the best chart for each. Bam.
Okay, so ChatGPT for conversational power. What's next?
Next, maybe Julius AI. This one feels more geared towards teams, especially if you like working in notebooks or need live data connections. It kind of blends chat with notebooks and collaboration. Pricing goes from free, I think it's like 15 messages a month, up to plus 26 UMISM Pro, $45 limism. The Pro plan adds live connectors for databases like Snowflake, BigQuery, Postgres. Google Drive connection is available on free and plus 2, which is nice. The big deal here is reproducibility, shared context, that paper trail. Really valuable if decisions need auditing and you want to see or even tweak the code.
Right, for more structured collaborative work.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And for the Excel crowd.
Yes. Microsoft Copilot for Excel. If you basically live in spreadsheets, this is probably your path. It sits inside Excel. It can write formulas for you, analyze the selected range, create pivot tables just by asking, help with importing data. There's Copilot Pro for individuals, about $20 a month, and the Copilot for Microsoft 365 add-on for businesses, around $30 per user per month. Its main advantage: you stay in Excel, your files stay in OneDrive. It brings the AI to your existing workflow. Very low friction if you're already deep in the Microsoft ecosystem.
Super integrated then. Okay, one more.
Last one to highlight is Polymer AI. This one's all about speed to a dashboard. You upload a file and boom, you get an interactive dashboard almost instantly. It uses AI to generate the dashboard layout, the text insights. It has connectors too, tiered sync options. Why does it matter? Well, if you need a shareable link with filters right now before a meeting, Polymer is incredibly fast for that. For a lot of people, it might be that first taste of AI data analysis that really clicks because the output is so visual and immediate.
Wow, okay, 4 distinct flavors there. ChatGPT for conversational flexibility, Julius for team notebooks and live data, Copilot for staying native in Excel, and Polymer for instant dashboards. It's interesting how they compare too. Like, all do file uploads, but the cloud connectors vary. ChatGPT and Julius seem broader there. Modeling approach is different too. Python code versus formulas versus auto dashboards. Collaboration, cost.
Lots to consider.
Exactly. It depends on your specific needs.
Let's make this really concrete then. Can we walk through a quick example? Let's say I've got this awful salesq3.csv file, date, region, product units, revenue, profit, discount, rating columns, but it's a mess. Typos in region, missing profit numbers, dates are all over the place. And I've got this gut feeling that high discounts kill our margin in the South region. Oh, and yeah, the board meeting is in like an hour. Stressful. Okay, perfect scenario for AI speed. Let's use ChatGPT for this hypothetical 10-minute dash, minutes 1 to 3. Clean. Upload sales q3.csv, your prompt. Profile columns, Fix missing profit values using the median maybe, standardize dates to YYMM, unify the region names, fix typos, drop rows I can't recover, show me a quick before and after sample. ChatGPT does it, runs the Python code. Your messy data is suddenly clean, usable. That's huge progress already.
Okay, clean in 3 minutes. Impressive. What next?
Minutes 4 to 6. Explore. Now you ask, okay, rank the top 3 patterns impacting profit, and maybe it comes back with 1. South region shows rising revenue, but margin is tanking. 2. Discounts over 25% seem to make unit economics negative for 2 specific products. 3. Customer ratings are lower on orders with heavy discounts. You immediately follow up. Show me a scatter plot of discount versus margin, maybe color-coded by region, with a trend line. Instantly, you've got visual confirmation of your hunch and other key issues.
Wow, okay, so the hunch is looking real and quantified.
Minutes 7 to 8. Model, exactly. Now you quantified it. Estimate the effect of the discount percentage on profit margin, but control for region and maybe product category. Give me the coefficients and explain it simply. No, you have a number. Like, a 1% increase in discount is associated with a 0.8% decrease in margin in the South, holding other factors constant. It's not just a hunch anymore. It's a quantified claim backed by the data.
That's the kind of thing you can actually take into a meeting.
Minutes 9 to 10. Decide. Precisely. Yeah. Final step. Write a brief summary with 3 key bullet points for an executive. Include a bar chart showing margin by region, and suggest 1 testable recommendation for our discount policy next month based on this. Copy, paste that output into your document, add maybe a sentence of context, and you walk into that board meeting 10 minutes after getting the messy file with a clear, data-supported point of view and a concrete recommendation.
That 10-minute turnaround is honestly game-changing, from messy data to a board-ready insight and recommendation. Wow. So clearly these tools are powerful, but choosing the right one and the right combination, how do you approach that confidently? Because you said it's a capability, not a brand. Depends on your needs, right?
Exactly right. It really boils down to your constraints and what you need to achieve most often. So if you need sheer speed, if you're doing a lot of single file exploration, and you want the option to see the code sometimes, ChatGPT with file uploads and maybe connectors is probably your fastest path from question to a prototype answer.
Okay, speed and flexibility, ChatGPT.
If you're working in a team, need shared context, maybe you want to connect to live databases like Snowflake or BigQuery, then Julius AI, especially its Pro plan with the notebooks and connectors, is built for that collaborative, traceable workflow.
Shared context, live data, Julius AI.
If you absolutely have to stay inside Excel, maybe that's where all your company's processes are, then Microsoft Copilot is the obvious choice. It brings the AI directly into the spreadsheet. Formulas, pivot tables, analysis, all within Excel.
Stay in Excel, Copilot.
And finally, if your main goal is getting interactive dashboards out to stakeholders fast, something they can click around in, Polymer AI is designed for exactly that. Upload, get a dashboard, share the link. Minutes.
Instant dashboards is Polymer. That helps clarify the core strengths. What about budget? That's always a factor, especially for smaller teams or individuals.
Definitely. If budget's tight, start with the free tiers or trials. Julius Free gives you those 15 messages a month, enough to try it out on small tasks, get a feel for it. Polymer usually has a trial. ChatGPT's free version can be capable, but the paid tiers, 20-month typically, are where you get reliable file analysis, the connectors, priority access. It's often a very reasonable cost for the power you unlock. You need to see it as an investment in efficiency.
Right, makes sense. Now, even with the right tool, you mentioned pitfalls. These things are powerful, but our judgment still matters, maybe even more so.
Yeah.
What are the common traps people fall into, and how do we avoid them?
Yeah, critical question. A big one is just blindly trusting the unquestioned defaults. AI will give you an answer, but you have to ask questions back. The fix. Ask for its assumptions. Always inspect the residuals or errors from a model. Look at the data distributions yourself. Don't just rely on averages. Think critically about the output.
Don't just accept the first pretty chart it gives you.
Exactly, which leads to the next one. Pretty charts, but weak titles. A chart titled Margin by Region is informative, sure, but South margin fell as discount rose tells a story and prompts action. The fix is simple. Title your charts with the main takeaway message. Make it instantly clear what the viewer should understand.
Okay, so challenge defaults, title with takeaways. What else?
Overfitting, especially to recent data. Just because a pattern held last quarter doesn't mean it will next quarter. The fix here involves good practice. Use rolling time windows for analysis. Use holdout data sets to test your forecasts. Ask for those confidence intervals. Do sensitivity checks. How much does the forecast change if assumptions shift slightly?
Right, got to check robustness.
And one more, especially crucial for live data connections, data drift. The meaning or structure of your incoming data can change over time without warning. The fix. If you have live sources hooked up, schedule regular checks. Simple things. Check the schema hasn't changed. Run basic data quality tests. You need to know immediately if a key column starts behaving differently or disappears.
These are really practical warnings. Keep the human in the loop, basically. Be skeptical, be rigorous. So for someone listening who's thinking, okay, I'm convinced I want to start using this, how do they build the habit? You said it gets sticky when used daily. What does that first week look like?
Yeah, building the habit is key. Here's a simple plan for that first week. Day 1. Take one messy file you have. Use an AI tool just to clean it. Save the before and after. See the difference immediately. That's a quick win.
Okay, day 1. Clean something.
Day 2. Take some recent data. Ask the AI to make one chart that explains a key trend, maybe from last quarter. Then actually share that chart with someone, a colleague, your manager. Communication practice.
Day 2. Make and share one chart.
Day 3, ask the AI to write a short, maybe 2-paragraph narrative summary based on some analysis. Then spend time editing it. Make it sound like you. Get comfortable shaping the AI's output.
Day 3. Write and edit a narrative.
Day 4, try a simple forecast. Ask for confidence intervals. Make a note of the prediction. Then, importantly, next month, check how accurate it was. Log the error. Learn from it.
Day 4. Run a forecast and plan to check it.
Day 5. Specifically for Excel users, find 3 formulas you typically have to look up on Google. Ask Copilot to write them for you instead. Just integrate it into that existing workflow.
Day 5. Let Copilot write some formulas.
Day 6. If you're trying Julius or Polymer, connect one live data source if you can, or just re-upload a file and publish a simple dashboard. Experience that speed to shareable insight.
Day 6. Connect live data or publish a dashboard.
Day 7. Reflect on the week. Maybe create a super short checklist, like 3 points that you or your team will use before publishing any claim that came from an AI analysis. Just build in that moment of critical review.
That's a really actionable week. Small steps, building momentum.
Exactly. And it reframes your role, you see. These tools don't replace the analyst. They change the mix of the work. You spend less time on the tedious cleaning, the grunt work, more time asking better questions, less time redrawing the same chart 50 times, more time designing the next experiment, thinking about strategy. The AI is like that tireless intern doing the heavy lifting. You become the editor, the teacher, the strategist guiding it.
The strategist. I really like that framing. It's empowering, not threatening. Okay, so here's a final thought, maybe a challenge for you listening. Pick one data set this week. Something that actually matters to your work or your interests. Connect it to ChatGPT, fire up Julius, try Copilot in Excel, upload it to Polymer, whichever feels right. Run through that 4-step process. Clean, explore, model, communicate. Then find just one decision or insight you genuinely couldn't have reached as quickly or maybe with as much confidence without using the AI tool. Share it, even if it's just with yourself. And then do it again next week. This habit compounds. Your results will too.